Hello, my name is Juan, and I'm a patient of Dr. Michaeli's. I suffered a brachial plexus injury from an accident that happened to me back in September of 2024. Now I am about 10 months post-surgery, and I am extremely happy with the results. My arm was completely flaccid before the surgery. It was coming out of its socket. It wouldn't hold its weight. I wouldn't be able to do something as simple as this. This is great improvement. I can almost deal with my arm. It holds its weight. The strength is coming back. I feel very, very happy with the results of the surgery. Brachial plexus on the right arm, humerus fraction on the left arm, which affected my radial nerve and put both of my arms in a disabled position. They were hoping for the nerves to come back on their own, and my left arm was showing progress, very limited, but that's what they believed was going to happen with my right arm. So we waited up to 5.5 months. My lawyer, she felt like we needed to get a second opinion. That's when she referred me to Dr. Michaeli. The reason why, when I met with him, we were 5 months into it. He wasn't happy about that. He requested for us to move with the surgery as soon as possible. Nerve damage does come with a lot of baggage, and you have to put yourself into a position where you kind of can't give up, even though it is hard. But little by little, you do see, as long as you put in the work and you have a good team around you. I have to thank my family, my doctors, my lawyers. Everything has been great, and I'm happy with the progress I'm making. Seeing the results that we're seeing right now, within a year, I should be able to get pretty much all movement on my right arm. So I'm very happy with that.
I remember when I met Juan, it was a few months ago. I think he was 6 months out from a motorcycle accident where he had an upper brachial plexus avulsion. He kept on being delayed for surgery. He'd seen another surgeon. They just kept on ordering MRIs and nerve conduction studies. But based on his injury and the MRI that showed cerebrospinal fluid leaking from his spine, I knew that he had a nerve injury, and we knew that it was not going to get better. There were no signs of recovery 6 months out. The shortest amount of time to getting these muscles stimulated, the better off he was going to do. So I knew that this was going to be rushed. I booked him for surgery. We did 4 different nerve transfers for him. The first one that I did was a spinal accessory nerve to suprascapular nerve transfer, and that was to stabilize the shoulder. Luckily, those nerves are really close to each other and really close to the muscles. Within a few weeks, we already started seeing that his dislocated shoulder from his paralyzed shoulder was now starting to sit in place. So that was the first sign that we had some good results from our surgery. The next nerve transfer that I did was the nerve for the flexor carpi radialis. That's one of the muscles that bends the wrist. I took one of those fascicles and I moved it to the bicep so that he'd be able to lift up his arm and also supinate. Then I took the nerve to the FCU. And to do this, we actually had to open up the nerves and use a special kind of nerve stimulator called a bipolar stimulator to figure out which fascicle within the nerve actually causes that function, because we don't want to lose all the functions, right? I don't want to lose his fingers, right? That would be devastating. We were able to find the nerve that allowed his wrist to bend on the other side of the wrist, and we took that fascicle, that one portion of the nerve, and we moved that to the brachialis. That wasn't enough because he still didn't have full function of the shoulder. The next day, I brought him back and I made an incision, this time from behind, and I found the nerve that was supplying the long head of the tricep. I connected that to the anterior axillary nerve. The anterior axillary nerve gives off the nerve to the anterior deltoid and the lateral deltoid. So that's going to be shoulder flexion and abduction. Now he's not perfect yet. I expect about 2 years for him to reach his full potential. You can see he's already able to scratch his face. I think that's really exciting. He's able to touch all of his fingers. He's able to lift his arm up in front of him. He's able to lift it a little bit to the side. So I think he's doing fantastic. He's really beating the curve on everything. And that's more due to him than me. He's super dedicated. I normally prescribe patients 3 times a week physical therapy. He goes 5 times a week. And I think his results show it. He's dedicated. He wants to do better. He wants to go back to work. He wants to be a part of society. And I think he's doing everything right. So I'm happy with what I did, but I'm also really happy with what he's doing.